There's a race for president of the United States. The current sitting president is running for re-election. 3.5 months from the election, he decides not to run. The sitting vice president then takes the mantle, running against a former president of the United States who had been running for 10 years.
107 days, nothing is ever Kamala's fault. Biden lets her down by not stepping down sooner. Pouty face emoji. Gavin Newsom, he was asked for his endorsement, but texted, hiking, we'll call back. But then never did. And then he didn't even ask her to prom.
Kamala Harris is currently making the rounds, insisting that she bears no responsibility for the 2024 presidential election defeat. But Bill Maher isn't convinced. On an episode of Real Time, he openly challenged the former vice president's narrative and didn't hold back. As always, his remarks were sharp, bold, and packed with humor. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button, and let's get started.
If you have to pin it down to one thing, what was the primary reason, do you think, that you lost?
There are many factors, I think, that played into the outcome of that election. But I think probably one of the biggest in my mind is we just didn't have enough time.
We didn't have enough time.
We didn't have enough time.
Maher's message is straightforward but tough. He believes Kamala Harris should take a step back, spend some time reflecting, and ask herself one difficult question. What did I do wrong? No excuses, no shifting blame, and no pointing fingers, just a brutally honest evaluation of her choices, her campaign message, and the way she connected with voters during the election. From Maher's perspective, the conditions seemed to be working in her favor. She had strong support from high-profile celebrities who actively promoted her campaign and amplified her message. She also had a committed Democratic base prepared to turn out and vote. The energy was there, the backing was visible, and the momentum appeared strong. So what went wrong? That's the answer Maher believes needs to be found. Not for public relations, not to repair an image, but to gain a clear understanding of the mistakes that were made. Because only by identifying those mistakes can there be a chance to correct them if she decides to enter the political arena again in the future.
Kamala spent 100 days telling voters, I know it feels like crime and illegal immigration are bad, but f*** your feelings, look at this chart. Yes, there's a lot to not like already about the new regime, but maybe take 1 week to ask what you did wrong. The basis for Democratic campaigns has become, we're the smart people. That we know from the get-go. No need to look into that.
Maher points to what he believes was Kamala Harris's biggest political mistake, arguing that she bears more responsibility for the election defeat than she is willing to acknowledge. In his view, the warning signs were impossible to ignore. They were clear, consistent, and coming from within her own party. Time and again, polls indicated that many Democratic voters wanted Harris to establish her own identity and create some distance from the Biden administration. But according to Maher, rather than responding to those concerns, she moved in the opposite direction. The clearest example, he argues, came when she was presented with a perfect opportunity to reassure undecided voters. When asked what she would do differently from President Biden, she had a chance to highlight her own vision, demonstrate independence, and signal a fresh approach. Instead, she rejected that opportunity entirely, saying she wouldn't do anything differently. To Maher, that wasn't merely a missed chance to connect with voters, it was a moment of political self-sabotage unfolding right before everyone's eyes.
The Democratic polling firm Blueprint told Democrats months ago that black voters, aka their supposedly liberal base, were more likely to find the president too liberal than too conservative. They also found that voters didn't just want Harris to distance herself from Biden, they wanted her to distance herself from what they believe the entire Democratic Party has become, a Portlandia sketch.
Maher also pushes back against Kamala Harris's frequent argument that she only had 107 days to run her campaign. In his view, that explanation doesn't hold up under closer examination. He argues that Harris wasn't entering the race without support or resources. Her campaign had access to an enormous financial advantage, with roughly $1.5 billion available to help shape the narrative and reach voters across the country. Beyond that, she enjoyed strong backing from Hollywood, with celebrities consistently promoting her message and boosting her visibility. The media attention was constant, the endorsements were plentiful, and perhaps most importantly, millions of Democratic voters were motivated and prepared to support her. According to Maher, this was not a campaign lacking time or resources. If anything, it had an abundance of both. That's why he sees the 107 days argument as an unconvincing defense. From his perspective, the problem wasn't the amount of time available, it was how that time was spent and whether it was used effectively. As he puts it, one of the reasons he finds the situation so fascinating is because it's unlike anything seen before, making it a unique political case study.
I mean, one of the reasons I wrote the book is this is unprecedented. Think about this.
Yeah.
That there's a race for president of the United States. The current sitting president is running for re-election. 3.5 months from the election, he decides not to run. The sitting vice president then takes the mantle, running against a former president of the United States who had been running for 10 years with 107 days.
107 days is a victim's title because, get it, she only had 107 days to win. Yeah, and $1.5 billion and a built-in army of about 75 million people who'd vote for any human-adjacent life form that wasn't Trump.